what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Delay. I've been I've been exercising positivity. I've been trying to think positive. I've been having a good time as a result of thinking positive, but I had a little bit too much of a good time because it resulted in me running up my credit card, and right now I'm a little bit stressed, but not really stressed, because we can't let anything on the earth stress us out, right? So we're just gonna come up with a plan on what to do, and we're gonna do what we gotta do, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna tighten our belts where we need to tighten our belts, and for a short amount, well, not a short amount of time, for as long as it requires, and then we're gonna handle the business, and that's it. That's it. Just come up with a plan and let the, trust the process. Come up with a process, come up with a plan, and trust the process, and not stressed out about it. Now, our more recent discomfort was I realized that a piece of my tooth had chipped off. So I was eating some food. I was eating some fusion Chinese, Japanese food, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Is there a rock in my food? Is there a rock in my food? Now, the other day I went and got some food from a Japanese place. It had a long hair in it. But guess what? You see, that's what happens when you eat out. So you really should cook your own food. It's more cost effective, and it's healthier. And at least you know whose hair is in it. So I ate the hair. I took the hair out, and I finished my meal because I paid like $12 for it. I wasn't going to waste my money. It was delicious. I hope that the hair was fully cooked. And didn't have any hair oil or hair grease or hairspray in it. That's the only thing to really worry about. The germs, I'm not really worried about the bacteria too much, but I'm more worried about the hair products that person used in the hair that they dropped in my food. Anyhow, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about my teeth, and I want to talk about teeth in general. So I follow this hippie guy. I consider myself a hippie somewhat. I follow this hippie guy online. I think his name is Jacob. Who knows what his name is? But his Instagram is something like Jacob's Link or whatever. He lives in Puerto Rico. He moves back and forth from Puerto Rico to the mainland. And he's like a kind of a Bible thumping hippie mix. He's like a mixture of a health nut, hippie, and a Bible thumper, right? So he's fun, but he's been talking about goat's milk all the time. He's been talking about, the first ever video I saw of his was him talking about regrowing teeth. So, during that time, my son was having some cavities. I mean, I never exercised or whatever. My son goes to a regular conventional dentist, and they're doing the best that they can. They're doing what they can do, and with their professional thing, because it's not really, when it comes to, anyhow. I'm leaning on the quote unquote professionals to take care of his teeth. I can take risks with my teeth. I can experiment with my teeth, but I'm not taking any chances really with his. And as a parent, it's kind of stressful. You think that you want to try all kind of stuff, and you don't know, So it's like you want to rely on the professionals, but when you realize that dentist offices are owned by private equity corporations who are pushing to do unnecessary medical procedures, are proven and identified and have been caught doing unnecessary procedures for profit generation and permanently disfiguring people, permanently removing parts of their body just to make money. When you hear that, it makes you uncomfortable. And I've had a few spats with the dentists. He's probably at his third dentist office now, because the first dentist, she just relocated. She went to somewhere else. The second dentist, I don't know, few spats with that dentist about the fluoride causing neurological issues, and I'm against using the fluoride stuff. And there was some other instances where they x-rayed and they saw cavities, and then in the next appointment they say there were no cavities, and then they go back to the next appointment and they say there are cavities. So but these dentists owned by private equities, and probably some of the private dentists themselves who are not owned by investors, at times do unnecessary procedures just to make money. And they're gung-ho to pull out your teeth and do surgery and all kind of things in your mouth because they can make money from it. And it's horrible, and that scares me, and that makes me uncomfortable, and it doesn't make me feel safe. Anyhow, as a result, I try to take my own dental care into my own hands. Now, the last time I went to the dentist was 20 years ago. They cleaned my teeth. They said I was doing a good job. Now that I'm a gentleman of a certain age, apparently, I don't see that I have any cavities. One of my teeth broke off. I took a photograph of it, and I couldn't see any decaying material. I couldn't see any caries. I couldn't see decay, right? But I did see where there was a big piece of it missing. So anyhow, started going through all of my saved Instagram posts from the guy Jacob's Link, or Jacob's Tradition, or whatever his name is, and a multitude of other people, about teeth and stuff like that, how to take care of your teeth. And I've come back from the mountaintop with a little bit of clarity, or a little bit of their opinion here, and this is what I took from that experience, and from my little research, and some conversations with AI also, and some conversations with Google, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm just gonna read it because I'm in traffic. I can't really necessarily read it thoroughly in a legible kind of way, so I'm gonna do the best I can, and you can fill in the blanks with your imagination, and find out what you want to find out yourself. You can look into it and verify what I'm saying. So, teeth, they're made out of calcium and phosphorus, okay? So, cavities are caused by bacteria, acid, dry mouth, lack of saliva, mouth breathing, lack of calcium and phosphorus in the diet, right? Also, lack of vitamin D. Lack of vitamin D is a major cause of weakened bones. Teeth are essentially bones. Lack of vitamin D can cause teeth to break or crack. Okay? Bacteria is fed by sugar, simple carbohydrates, and decomposing material. Fluoride is absorbed into teeth and bones, and it displaces calcium, and is not as easily attacked by bacteria, right? So the case of fluoride now, I'm not a huge proponent of it. If you're deficient in calcium, the calcium is easier for the bacteria to attack for the acids and all of that to break down, in my opinion. But fluoride also weakens your bones at the same time, right? And fluoride also displaces the calcium, which is, your body doesn't really need the fluoride for anything, from my limited understanding. It also, according to some people, woo-woo, hippie people like myself, it causes neurological issues. Well, that's scientific fact, but hippies say it blocks your pineal gland. And one thing they say helps to clear out the fluoride out of your body is tamarind, a fruit called tamarind, right? But also, from my limited understanding, stuff like fluoride and chlorine and bleach and all that stuff can be broken down by no, okay, let's not talk about that. Forget the bleach, okay? So let's move along, sorry. So I was saying, lack of vitamin C is called scurvy, which can lead to tooth loss. Lack of vitamin D is a major cause of weakened bones. I already said that. Teeth are essentially bones. Lack of vitamin D can also cause teeth to break and crack. Omega-3 fatty acids fight gingivitis and gum disease. Iodine kills cavity-causing bacteria, supports thyroid, which affects saliva production and stops the progression of decay. Iodine also is an alternative to fluoride. So, yeah, that's good to know, right? I didn't look up where we can get better sources of phosphorus, but I did look up, a little bit things about milk. Now, I am lactose intolerant, and from my conversations with AI, some people have different issues with milk. Some people have an issue with the A1 protein. Some people have an issue with the lactose. Now, the lactose intolerance is like an immediate, after you drink it, after you consume it, like an almost immediate reaction in your digestive tract, which is what I experience when they give me my hot caramel latte with cow's milk in it. Immediately, probably within the next 15, 20 minutes, I'm running to the bathroom, okay? So that's a symptom of lactose intolerance. Now, the A1, when you have just an A1 intolerance or a issue with the A1 protein, what happens in that case is you just feel woozy, you don't feel so right, and you don't feel so good. Oh, inflammation. You don't feel so good and you feel inflammation. So that's the A1 protein in milk. Now, they have cows that produce less A1 and produce A2. Now, the way how they get the cows to produce A2 is through selective breeding, supposedly. Selectively breeding the cows that have A2 and don't express A1 as much. So some people may just have A1 issues regarding the milk, and in the case of having an A1 issue, you feel congestion, and you don't feel so well after you drink the milk. In the case of lactose intolerance, which is what I have, you get diarrhea, flatulence, or your whole GI is all going crazy after, right? Like almost immediately after you consume the milk, like probably within the next 20 minutes of consuming it, right? So that's my issue. So I can't touch milk, whether it's A1 or whatever milk, you know what I mean? It's not gonna work for me. Whether it's A2 milk, I should say, whether it's A2 milk or it's regular milk. But talking about Jacob's Link, or the hippie guy Jacob that I listen to, he touts goat's milk. Now, goat's milk supposedly contains more calcium. Goat's milk contains some other micronutrients in higher concentration than cow's milk. Now, I went to the store the other day to look for some goat's milk, trying to experiment on myself based on what Jacob is talking about, and I couldn't find any goat's milk at all. The only thing that I could find close to even goat's milk was sheep's cheese from Italy. So I bought a piece of sheep's cheese from Italy. I put it in some raisin bread, and I had it for lunch, and I didn't feel sick at all. I have some little issues regarding the ethics of cheese itself. So I may not continue doing that. The ethics of how the whole cheese industry, how the whole milk industry is done, where basically cows are sexually assaulted to continue producing milk. So that's abhorrent to me. So anyhow, we got to find another way. I have to find a plant-based source of calcium. One of the plant-based sources of calcium is stuff like broccoli and stuff like that. Anyhow, I'm all over the place. But all I want to say is, what I wanted to say was that now you have the plant-based milks like almond milk, oat milk, rice milk, and all these other things. And the calcium is in the form of salts, right? like sodium bicarbonate and stuff like that. So the added calcium in the plant-based milks is less bioavailable. Oh my gosh, somebody just crashed. It's less bioavailable than what am I saying? It's less bioavailable than I'm distracted because of the crash. It's less bioavailable than that from cows and goats. So a better source than these plant-based milks is real milk from animals, or you can get it from broccoli and leafy greens, spinach, stuff like that. Now people talk about oxalates creating kidney stones, right? And I asked AI whether the calcium in broccoli and, well, I didn't ask about calcium in broccoli. I said, is the calcium in these plant-based milks more likely to create kidney stones than the calcium in animal milk? So it says the calcium in animal milk is less likely to create kidney stones. So if you're on a plant-based milk and you're worried about oxalates, maybe you got to switch back to an animal-based milk. And if you're going to switch from an animal-based milk, then you probably want to go with the goat's milk or the sheep's milk versus the cow's milk, which probably costs more. But hey, now I'm freestyling and I don't really have a point to what I'm saying. But what I wanted to say, I created my own little concoction that I've been swishing in my mouth. I lose consciousness on whether coconut milk contains omega-3s all the time. I keep forgetting. I don't know which one has. I think olive oil and canola oil have some of the highest omega-3 content, but canola oil is so highly processed, and some of it has preservatives in it like TBHQ or BHT. It's probably better just to stay away from it and stick to the virgin olive oil. Coconut oil is good. It has MCT and all kind of zinc and antibacterial components in it. Coconut oil is known to be antibacterial overall. Now these guys are honking me and there's a car right in front of me, so there's nothing I can do. There's really nothing I can do. So one of the things is, okay, so the concoction I made had coconut oil in it, clove, ground up clove powder. I don't want to be one of these people blocking the road. Ground up clove powder, a little bit of salt, a few drops of 2% iodine. I put a little piece of rosemary in it. I put maybe 2 drops of peppermint oil in it. And let's see what else I put in there. I think that's about it. I might have put a little black pepper in it too. But that's really about it for the most part. I've been putting that in my mouth and swishing it around and keep it in there for about 20 minutes, and then I spit it out. And I don't know if it's helped Mike. Listen, I don't know if it's gonna help my cracked tooth. Oh, I'm sorry, I also forgot it has baking powder, baking soda, right? Got baking soda, clove powder, coconut oil, a few drops of iodine, 2%, a 2% solution, a few drops of peppermint Gives me a nice fresh feel to my mouth. Peppermint also kills bacteria. Peppermint also kills the good bacteria that makes nitric oxide, that makes your machine go up. So I don't know, what's the price? The price save my teeth or have my machine working? I mean, it's like it's like a lose or whatever. You know what I mean? No, but anyhow, so that's what I'm doing right now. And I thank you so much for listening. I was all over the place, but in conclusion, I'm not like a big, like I don't know, there's holistic dentists out here. Holistic dentists are implementing and integrating different technologies and different solutions in tooth and oral care, like iodine, like ozone, like more biocompatible implants made out of, I think, zircon, more ceramic teeth, more ceramic based. They're staying away from removing wisdom teeth. They're staying away from root canals. They're recovering cavities. So if you have, from my research, if you have a cavity that's on the surface level, using the teeth pulling, the oral pulling with the coconut oil pulling, coconut oil pulling, and the cloves and the baking soda can help. And changing your diet and staying away from the sugars, staying away from the acidic foods, not consuming acidic foods after you're brushing, stuff like that. All of those things can recover. The teeth can restore. But now, if the cavity is past like the dentin level, or if the cavity has progressed past the dentin level, or something like that, it can go past the enamel. That's fine. The enamel, but if it reaches down to the core part of your tooth, then it's kind of highly unlikely to be reversed. Now there's also a group of people who believe that you can regrow teeth using vibrations, using sound, sound. I think some of the research is coming out of Canada. I don't know exactly where all this research is coming from, but supposedly your teeth can be regrown using vibrations that stimulate it. The next thing holistic dentists are staying away from is removing the wisdom teeth, because the wisdom teeth supposedly contain stem cells, and it's not good. And the root canals introduce bacteria, and implants introduce bacteria, and implants and root canals are causing a multitude of disease. Holistic dentists are staying away from amalgam fillings and fillings that contain mercury. Holistic dentists are also staying away from caps and fillings that contain any metal, any heavy metals in general. I'm looking into my own tooth. I wanted a silver cap on my tooth, but silver caps are not a thing. Most of the caps are made out of stainless steel and nickel, and supposedly nickel is not something that's so great for your body. A more biocompatible material, though, is gold, but it just makes you look like a pirate. So aesthetically, it's not necessarily recommended. So the most aesthetically pleasing and biocompatible is the zircon tooth. Me personally, if I'm gonna get a cap for my tooth, I want a gold cap for my tooth. But going back to what I said earlier when I started this podcast, I've had a great January, February. Well, you know what? I can't really say great January and February. A lot of people who I know have passed away. Not a lot, but there's a few people who have passed away. A few people going to the hospital. And I feel it's very important for us to take our health into our own hands regarding trying to do the best for ourselves. You know, it's a struggle every day to resist the sugars. It's a struggle every day to resist the fats and the salts and the preservatives and the processed foods. It's a struggle every day to try to get enough sunlight. It's a struggle every day to try to get every exercise. Sometimes some people are very much motivated. I'm motivated. I'm surprised, and unfortunately, I discovered something about myself. I'm mostly motivated when I'm angry. When I'm filled with hate and anger, I'm very much motivated. I tried to take a cold shower the other day, like finish my shower with cold water, and it was so hard because I wasn't angry. My anger puts me into a mode of action because I kind of subscribe to Ho Chi Minh's quote, turn your pain into action. So whenever I'm uncomfortable, I'm much more motivated to do things that are necessary to help me. But while I'm doing things to help me, I'm filling myself with anger that makes me sick. But on the other end, when I'm feeling good, I start to indulge. And I make myself unbalanced in another kind of way. So I've made myself economically unbalanced right now. So a gold cap on my tooth is probably not going to happen anytime soon. A gold cap on a tooth costs around $1,400. So I don't know how much the procedure costs, but I think the tooth cap itself costs $1,400. That's probably the value of half an ounce or a third of an ounce of gold for only maybe I don't know, something that's not even 1/100th of an ounce of gold. So now I work in, I have a profession, but the guys are pretty, the people I work with are pretty laid back. So I think even if I have a gold tooth, it won't really make me look too unprofessional, like I just came off of Davy Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, then again, it's a conversational piece. Anyhow, I've spoken so much, and I've spoken too much, and I've said a lot, and I've said not much. But you can seek out holistic dentists. I'm pretty sure they're more expensive. They might not be covered by your insurance. But if you just have surface level cavities, you can fix it. My tooth, I need to go to the dentist and have them look at it. I can't see it from this angle. I really don't want to subject myself to the radiation and the x-rays. But the location where it is and how it's cracked, it's not visible. Maybe I'll put it up as a picture. I don't think it's a pretty picture. But I thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.